What's good? So we're gonna be going over some life lessons I wish I would have known sooner. Now, first things first. As a man, there's certain things you need to do. Now, one of the things I want to outline is making your bed every morning. You need to make your bed every morning. I promise you, brother, you better not. I better not catch you with no dirty clothes on your bed, no wash clothes on your bed, just sitting there where you have to roll it over to go and lay in your bed. Your bed needs to be made every single day. As soon as you wake up, you need to get in and put that bed together. Second thing is you need to jump out of your bed every morning because guess why? You were blessed with another day. God has blessed you with another day. Another thing is you need to be right with God, right? And you need to have that example for your family because you are either going to be changed by your environment or you're going to be so powerful as an entity that you're going to change your environment. So what you need to do is you need to be right with God. You need to be a light in the darkness to people. People need to see you and be like, yeah, that man's a righteous man. He's righteous in Christ because he's living right, right? God will bless you abundantly. He will give you the wealth that lasts forever rather than the wealth that's temporary, right? So in that situation, you need to get right. You need to make sure you're following God. You need to be reading your Bible daily. Make sure you're in that word because you got to be a soldier for God for real. Because the thing is, if you don't believe in God, it says in the word, it says in the word of God, it says, a fool believes in his heart that there is no God. It's evident, it's self-evident that there is a God. We live in a world that has a creator. That's just what it is. He created us. He wants us to follow his commands. Why? Because he is most intelligent. He knows all the context. He knows exactly what's going on, what will happen if you don't follow these rules, these commandments and whatnot. And he doesn't want that for you. And you don't want that for yourself either. People don't look into second order consequences. And that's another thing. You have to look into second and third order and fourth order consequences of your life because you can in 20 years be that homeless guy walking with that grocery cart filled with cans and trash and old clothes, or you can be that guy rolling up in a Bentley or that Bugatti or whatever it is. So your life decisions are very powerful. You have to understand that the faster you live your life, the faster you go through life, the more important your decisions are. Just because it's just like riding in the car. You drive in the car, guess what? You turn the wheel a little bit to the side. Okay, if you're going slow, you're only going to go to the side a little bit. If you're going very fast, you're going to almost flip. So the thing is, the faster you're going, the more important it is when it comes to steering and going in the right direction. Now, the thing is, that's another lesson. It doesn't matter how far you go if you went in the wrong direction. In that sense, Holy Spirit, lead me. Hallelujah. Listen, if you go very far in the wrong direction, it doesn't matter because you're in the negative, right? You can be righteous. You can be made right with God and have absolutely nothing, but you're doing 1,000, a billion, trillion, infinitely better than the guy who has $1 billion, but is going to hell. The Bible says, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his own soul? So think about that when it comes to how you're living your life. Now, another thing is hygiene, right? You can't be smelling stink. You can't be, you have to take care of yourself because that protrudes out into the world. People will see who you are and your structure and your standards for yourself, and then they'll respect you based off of that. Respect is earned, not just given. People will give you basic human respect, most people, but you'll only get extra respect on top of that based off of who you are and what you've done. Now, when it comes to hygiene, let's break that down. You need to be taking a shower at least every day. I know some people don't take a shower every day for some reason. Twice a day, like depends on, if you're sweating or not. It very much depends, right? So if you wake up, go to the gym, you're sweating, and then you just take a shower one day, it really just depends, right? You could take one, go to the gym, take another one, or whatever it is. 1 or 2 showers a day at least. You need to brush your teeth twice a day. So I recommend getting that thorough breath stuff. It's very what's called. So you need to get a dental kit. So you need to, you can either go to the dentist consistently, whatever you want to do, because there might be plaque in the inside of your teeth. So you need to get a dental kit. A dental kit where you can get that plaque out. You brush your teeth twice a day. You can get a vibrating toothbrush that's electric. You can use charcoal toothpaste. That's good for your teeth, but I don't really use the charcoal toothpaste. I like using the thorough breath in my mouth while I'm brushing my teeth. Because I just prefer prefer it rather than using specifically toothpaste. I use the third breath. It's kind of like mouthwash to brush my teeth. I just feel like it's better for me, at least. And then I rinse my mouth out with it. You need a tongue scraper because a lot of the times your breath may be stink because the bacteria on your tongue. Because when you eat, food particles get left on your tongue, and then over time the bacteria builds up, and that causes that stench. So in that situation, what you want to do is when you're done eating, you scrape your tongue, you brush your teeth and whatnot. You need to also floss. So the daily routine could be this: you wake up, wash your face, brush your teeth. So you brush your teeth, whatever. Use the third breath. You can find this pretty expensive on Amazon. They're the colorful ones. Hopefully I can find it real quick. But while I'm finding that, I'll tell you. So you use that, then you scrape your tongue, rinse your mouth out. Of course, when you wash your face, you need to make sure you're using hot water so that the crust from your eyes from you sleeping will go away. Another thing is waking up with bad breath. If you wake up with bad breath, it is just a result of you not brushing your teeth before going to sleep. You don't want to eat anything before going to sleep. You brush your teeth and you floss to get any food or anything out of your mouth. You scrape your tongue and then you drink a lot of water. So the thing is, it's primarily because when there's bacteria on your tongue, well, when there's food particles left on your tongue, that creates a perfect environment for the bacteria to come in while you're sleeping over those hours. But if you scrape all that out, you use the mouthwash to kill that bacteria, then you drink a lot of water to keep you hydrated so your mouth doesn't have your saliva like not being there. And dried out, that would be a better environment for that bacteria to grow. So you want to make sure you drink a lot of water, brush, floss, and you'll wake up and your breath will just be, it won't like smell crazy good. It's just going to be baseline, right? So you don't want your breath to stink when you wake up. What else? Deodorant. Some guys don't wear deodorant for some reason. Some guys be messy a little bit. Things is you want to take a shower whenever before you leave the house too, in any way. Even if you're going to the basketball court, if you're going to work out, always take a shower, because the thing is you don't want to be dirty going somewhere to get dirty. But then it's hard to explain the logic, right? So say for instance you go on the basketball court. If you're dirty, if you didn't take a shower before going out there, you're gonna get sweaty and then even more dirty, and then you're gonna probably smell not the greatest. But if you just got out the shower, you're gonna smell good, then you'll get a little sweaty, but you have the deodorant on, everything, you're gonna be good. It's going to be a lot better than if you went and didn't take a shower beforehand. You always want to keep that up because your image is very important. How people look at you like, does that guy have bad breath? Oh, does that guy smell weird? Excuse me, every time I go around him or whatever it is. So you want to make sure you take care of those things on the tippity top of that. Also, when it comes to hygiene, like clipping your nails, for some reason some men don't cut their nails. You need to put it on your calendar or set a reminder on your phone to cut your nails at least every 2 weeks. I like to keep them pretty decently sized to where I can still open like a can if I needed to, but then it's not also like really cutting in your toenails too. So you need to make sure there's no dirt under them, and then also that your toes and everything are cut like not, because if your toenails are ripping holes in your socks, you don't care about yourself enough. And it's really sometimes it's really you're not taught, or you just don't care enough, right? Because it's just like someone who keeps a haircut versus someone who doesn't keep a haircut. Some people just love themselves so much they wasn't even taught, but they're like, yeah, I gotta always look good. But then also some people were just taught like, hey, you need to have one every 2 weeks or whatever it is. Also, as a man, you need to be able to cut your own hair if you need to. So, getting the lineup clippers and whatnot, that's what I do for myself. I cut my own hair most of the time, but I'm probably going to have to start going back to the barber or have him to do home visits for me. But that's the thing is you want to keep up with your looks. You want to make sure your beard is lined up. You want to make sure you don't have crazy hair and whatnot. I like to line up my beard and my mustache consistently. You want to make sure you clean out your ears every day. You don't want to have like I remember in elementary, I seen this dude. His ear was so filled with earwax that it was crazy. I'm like, nigga, how can you hear? But it was crazy. But yeah, every especially when you go and get hot or whatever it is, like you get hot or sweaty for some reason, I feel like that increases the production of earwax for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But you want to make sure you clean that like every other day, every 2 days, whatever it is, just to keep your ears good. When you're showering, don't just wash your junk and whatever it is. You need to wash your whole body. Don't be scared to wash your butt. I don't know why dudes be acting like it's scared to wash your butt. but like it's just, do you not wash your junk? Is that also because I just don't get it sometimes. I don't know, but you need to make sure you don't have freaking poop crumbs. Also, when you done using the toilet, you need to get some dude wipes. I don't know why dudes be acting like I don't know why I don't know why anybody would only use tissue, because tissue is not gonna get you right, right? Or if you can't afford do wipes or whatever, baby wipes or whatever, just take a shower every time you're done taking a dump. Um, Also, like, there's also a thing called poopery. There's this spray where you can spray before you go and you won't smell anything after. Um, I'm talking about in the toilet. That's just, good for your image and everything. Because imagine you go in the bathroom, blow it up in there, people smell it, they're like, oh man, that's terrible. Um, Now, when it comes to wiping your butt, man, it's not gay. I don't know why anybody would think that, but it's not gay to wipe your butt. Keep yourself clean. Girls don't, your wife wouldn't like your butt to be stinking. So, wipe until you can't see any residue of what you just did. Then you're good, right? I'm not gonna go too deep into that, how exactly to do it. You can figure it out on your own, but wipe until it's no more color, right? Wipe until your wipe is white, bright white. Okay, cool. Next thing is when you're showering, make sure you hit every part of your body behind your ears. You can most people don't wash your feet. You should have a rag for pretty much primarily the three different areas you need: one for your junk, one for your regular body, one for your feet, or you can even get even deeper than that and just have like, hey, one for your feet, one for your regular body, one for your junk, one for your butt, one for your face. Right? You can end up with five. Really, just depends on how deep you want to get into it, but you shouldn't really be, you know, too much cross contaminating, feet, washing your feet and then putting on your face, and it's just like, but some people only have one rag. You don't want to do that. Also, um, what else? Yeah, you need to have a consistent washing schedule of your sheets. You need to wash your pillows. So, like when it comes to acne and all of that, you want to make sure you're not touching your face. Like you see, I don't have acne. I don't do acne, right? Because the way acne happens is when you go through puberty, your face starts producing certain oils, and when those oils mix with dirt, it produces those what's called those bumps and whatnot. And what you want to do is you want to wash your pillowcases consistently. You don't want to be touching your face, and don't let other people touch your face. Um, Especially like if their hands are dirty. If they just literally just wash your hands and didn't really touch anything else, I get it, but just avoid it. Also, when it comes to like do rags, stuff like that, you want to wash those too consistently to make sure that you don't have any dirt building up that's going to be sitting on your forehead that's going to give you bumps. Um, what else? Um, Now let's get into just the regular life lessons, right? So the thing is, as a man, you need to have your finances together. You need to be at least saving 10% of whatever you earn, right? The best thing when it comes to saving is put it somewhere where you can't see it. Not like physical money, but like if you have physical money, you can do that too. But don't touch it unless it's an emergency. They say you need to have 6 months of an emergency fund. You can do that. I just say just stack up 10% every single month of whatever you make. Do not touch it. Do not touch it. Do not touch it unless it is absolutely necessary. In that situation, you'll be financially stable, because when people make a whole amount of money, your mind will figure out some way to spend it all, right? Especially if you're not getting paid a whole bunch of money consistently. But your mind, you'll notice as soon as you get some money, your mind starts thinking of ways to spend it. So what you do is you take 10% and you never spend that unless it absolutely is needed. So that means even if you have a nest egg over here of a few $1,000s, and then on the other side you have $0 in your bank, you know that you're good, because if something happened and you needed it, you can go and get it just like that. But you don't want to keep it in the same bank. So what I would do is I would get a SoFi checking account. It's called SoFi, SoFi. And you can get a savings in the checkings account with them, and it's a whole separate app than your bank, so that you can transfer the money to there, and you won't even see it when you log into your bank. So when you see the money, it's going to make you want to think about it and spend it, whatever. Don't look at the money. Don't look at it. Just know, hey, I got this much. Okay, cool. I'm not going to look at it. Next thing is you want to check your bank account every single day. In the morning, you need to check your bank account. If you have multiple bank accounts, cool. Don't check your savings where your nest egg is, where you're putting that 10% every month. Why? Because the more you see it, the more you're gonna think about it when it comes to buying things. Check your bank account every day because that will help you to know where you're at. What if a lot's going out, you know, hey, this is coming out this day. I know every month this is coming out. I know that I have this much, so I shouldn't be spending this much today or whatever it is. Also, budget. You want to make sure you're on top of your money, especially when it comes to if you have a woman. Just in general, you want to do it for yourself, but especially if you have a woman, you need to be financially responsible because, like, especially if you're married, because you need to be able to provide for her. And if you can't provide for her consistently, that's just something about who you are and what you're able to do that's really going to hurt your dynamic if you're a provider, right? Because she needs to know that you can consistently provide for her if you're married. Second thing is don't be out there fornicating. If you're a man of God, don't be fornicating. You're going to mess your life up. There's so many men who mess their life up by fornicating, getting a woman pregnant, then they got to deal with that, or they have an abortion, they have that on their conscience, all of that. Just don't get involved with that. Wait till marriage. It's the best thing you can do. Why? It's going to be hard, but the thing is you're going to end up with a two-parent household. That's better for your kids. That means you can go and make the money while your wife is watching your kids, meaning that your kids don't have the opportunity to get touched on or anything by family because they're always being supervised by you or your wife or somebody very close. But the thing is, another thing, as a man, you want to make sure you keep your kids closely guarded. Most people get touched on by a family friend or whatever it is or somebody close. So you need to keep your eyes on your kids at all times because kids are the most vulnerable of all types of people. And the thing is, when it comes to them, the way they grow is it's just like they're moving very fast. So they're going straight up. And if something like that happens, they might go like something might come and do that, and then they keep going into that direction. So you want to make sure you're molding them to be responsible, molding them to be godly, molding them to make good decisions. And you really need to spend time investing in your kids because you might have lessons in your mind that they don't understand because you never took the time to teach them, which means when they get in that situation, they'll do the wrong thing. Also, when it comes to kids, lead them by example, meaning that you do not want to be, hey, do this, don't do that, but you're doing that. Don't ever do that because your kids will lead by example. You ever seen those parents who don't want their kids to cuss, but they're always cussing? You shouldn't even hold your child to that standard if you can't hold it to yourself. It says Matthew chapter 7 verse 1 through 6, do not judge that you won't be judged, for you be treated as you treat others, the standard by which you are judged. Why you look at the splinter in your brother's eye but do not notice the beam of wood in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me take the splinter out of your eye, and look, there's a beam of wood in your own eye? Hypocrite, first take the beam of wood out of your own eye that you may see clearly to take the splinter out of your brother's eye. Do not judge people if you can't hold yourself to that same standard. Now, that's called hypocritical judgment. You want to be righteously judging, meaning that you can hold someone to that standard because you're already holding that standard. Now, a little bit more things when it comes to kids. You want to make sure that your generations are set. You don't want to be one of those people who get money, you're very rich, your kids are good, but then the next generation is broke. They say good times create weak men create bad times create strong men create good times, and good times create weak men. So you want to have a cyclical cycle of strong men. How do you do that? You expose your kids to what hard times look like before they have to deal with hard times. So if you're in that Rolls Royce and you take your kid through the hood and you show them, hey, this is what life looks like when you don't stack up, when you don't be financially responsible. And one of the things that I thought about, but that a lot of people don't think about it when it comes to generational wealth, is you need to teach your kids the cycle. Meaning, you need to teach your kids wealth principles that you learn from the books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? Get this book. This is the book that inspired me to get on my entrepreneurship journey, going from a 14-year-old making absolutely nothing to where I am now. Put that back there. Now, another thing is when it comes to your kids, like the cycle, let me break that down. You don't only teach them the wealth principles. You let them know that it is a cycle within the family, that you need to let your kids know that it is a cycle, which means you need to let their kids know, let their kids know, to let their kids know, to let their kids know. And then you need to let them know that it's an infinite cycle, that every generation needs to completely understand that these are the wealth principles. This is what you have to follow. This is what you have to do. Do not baby your kids. When they're younger, you can give them what they want, whatever, whatever, whatever. But let them earn it by doing things like reading books on financial literacy, reading books on business, different things like that, so that they can be intellectually there, but also know the value of a dollar. Because when you get rich, when you get successful, when you have kids, they don't understand the value of the dollar, because they understand that dad loves me, so he gives me money. He gives me this amount of money. So they're not equating this much work equals this much money in this world. There's people who will work for 10 hours to get have a quarter of what dad just gave you because he loves you. So they can't equate the value of money, which means they'll spend crazy and they won't understand it. They won't build it up, and they'll feel like it's infinite. But then when they run out, they're on drugs and this and not all that, and they don't have their own purpose because you gave them the money instead of letting them work for it. What I would rather do is put them in a situation where they build up their money, but you give them the wealth principles, but you just have a crazy emergency fund, or you can give them a little something to where like you buy them a house or something like that. It really just depends. I won't go too deep into the details, but the thing is, when it comes to the wealth principles and all of that, they need to have their own purpose, meaning that if they want to be rich, like you give them the taste of the rich life, but you don't give the rich life to them, meaning that they have to become strong in order to get it for themselves. The only thing you should really, really be required to give them, like you should know that you need to give your kids this, is you give them the principles and you give them an emergency fund. If something crazy happens, no matter what, they're going to be good. They can come to this house over here and this, that, and they have this emergency fund to where if they have a crazy expense that comes out, somebody breaks their leg, somebody gets in car accident, whatever it is, they're covered. But other than that, they need to build their own wealth. Why? Because in order to build wealth, you have to become a certain type of person, and they will never become that type of person if you give them wealth. So that's the thing. When it comes to kids, keep your kids safe. Make sure they don't get touched. You can send them to my school. I'm going to have a school. I'm not going to tell you the name of it. It's going to be solid. It's going to be crazy good. It might be in Texas or Florida in the future. I'll let you guys know. But it's going to be great. Just in the coming years, I'm going to build a school. I'm just sneak peeking it a little bit. I'm going to do something, right? Okay? But don't be having your kids in. I would homeschool my kids personally, but just have them around. Like if my friends have kids and I have kids around the same age, I'll let them play together and stuff like that. They have to be supervised, because you don't know what those kids are exposed to. They might have been touched because their parents are not watching over them, and then they end up trying to touch your kids. Or maybe they stumbled upon pornography and they see that and they want to do it with your kid. Don't You need to supervise your kids. Don't let them be alone in rooms with people, whatever. You need to make sure that, because that's one of the biggest things. You have to understand that most people that get molested or whatever it is, it's happening in those type of situations. And it happens more in single parent households. And that's why I tell you guys, do not be fornicating, because parent households is what you create when you do that, which means that the mother needs to be able to support a full household because the father isn't there, right? The father isn't in the house with them, which means she has to work longer hours, which means she needs somebody else watching the kid while she's working, which means that kid's more susceptible to getting touched on whatever it is, and that kid doesn't have enough time with their parents to be poured into to where they're learning all these lessons, which means we're getting an unstable society because we're filling up the United States with people who didn't get poured into. They didn't learn the lessons from their parents. You're supposed to get progressively wiser over time, meaning I teach my kids their lessons, they learn some more lessons, teach your kids them lessons, but lessons get lost over time if you don't have that structure and enough time to pour into a person to give them all those lessons. So this might have happened to you. You may not have gotten these types of lessons that I'm giving you from your father, and that's completely fine. Like, well, it's not a good thing, but I understand it because that's how I am. I literally had to go and read the books and go through experience to figure out these things. So I'm letting you guys know so you can skip all that. Now, the next thing is safety, right? Safety is the most important thing. Your life is worth more than $1,000,000. I want to ask you a question. If you had $1,000,000 cash, would you hire security to protect it? Yes, you would. So you need to have your own personal security to be able to protect yourself. So in this, I want you to understand that you are responsible for your own safety. Do not rely on the police. Do not rely on them, because guess what? If someone's robbing your house, you call the police. They're 2 minutes away. The robber is 30, 20 seconds away from your door. What are you going to do? Or say they're just a murderer. They're not even trying to rob you. They're just trying to kill someone. What are you going to do? Right? Personal protection is very important, right? You need to learn your concealed carry laws and all these different things of your state to make sure that you can carry, or whatever the case may be, depending on your age. I'm 18, meaning that I cannot carry in my state. I have to be 21, so I can carry around my home and on the property of my house. But the thing is, I can't be going out and stuff like that. So you might as well get a BB gun, carry it. It's legal to carry a BB gun in Florida, concealed carry a BB gun, just letting you know, right? I'm in Florida. I don't know where you guys at, but look into the laws, figure out what you can do, get a gun, get a pistol, get an AR, all those things. Listen, and you might be confused, like, wait, what? You told me to be a man of God. What are you talking about, guns? Jesus said, go and sell your garment and go and buy a sword. Swords were the weapon of that time. Swords and bows. Now there's guns and freaking baseball bats or whatever, right? Same thing. So it's personal defense. God has never had a problem with that. God is literally the same God that prepared. It was either Solomon or David who said, God prepares my hands for war, meaning that God wants you to defend yourself. He doesn't want you to just be a victim and die. Of course, he's going to protect you, but also he empowers you to protect yourself and your family. As a man, you have to be capable to protect your family, because I want to ask you a question. If somebody came in your house and you were with your wife sleeping and you didn't have any type of weapon, two men came in your house, they point a gun at you and your wife, they want your wife to bend down, whatever it is, and they want to have their way with her, and you have no, I want you to imagine that. They want to have their way with her and you have absolutely no power. How would you feel about that? How would that make you feel? It would be terrible, right? So in that situation, you want to have the power. You want to have 5 little guns around the house. You want to have the AR. Somebody come in your house, they're gonna die, or you're gonna die. You're not gonna let nothing slide like that, right? Because in that situation, as a man, your wife wouldn't trust you to protect her, because you let that happen. As a man, that's your responsibility. She may not have told you, like, hey, that's your responsibility to protect me, but as a man, that's naturally there. When it comes to men and females, males and females, that's just how the relationship is. You need to protect, provide. I don't care about the old 50-50 split, and you need to go get your bag up and go pay for everything, the bills and all of that, when you're married. If you're not married, don't worry about that. Just run it up and then find you a wife. Then you protect, provide, but you protect your girlfriend or whatever it is. But that's what I'm saying. So in that situation, that's your responsibility, and she'll never trust you. Like, she'll never trust you to protect her if you don't let that happen to her. Especially you was right there, and then you sitting there like a punk. You ain't got no gun, no way to protect yourself. They come in your house trying to shoot you, whatever it is. They have your way with their wife. It will never be the same ever again. I seen that happen in the movie. I was like, nah, cuz, not me. Not me, cuz that nigga will get the 9. That nigga will get the freaking the beam. You know what I'm saying? He will get the whole package. You know, you hit him with one of these. You know what I'm saying? Flash warning. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not with that. Honestly, go get you a gun. Keep it in your house. If you don't have a concealed carry permit, get you some hollow tip bullets. Regular bullets go through people, and they don't cause as much damage. Hollow tip bullets expand. They pretty much explode on impact, meaning they do more damage, which means they have more stopping power, which means it's more likely to put someone down and stop them from being a threat. The goal is not to kill an intruder, but more to stop them from being a threat. And if you have to kill them, you have to be cool with that. You have to be cool with understanding that, hey, you may have to end the threat, but ending the threat may be taking that person's life, but you have to be at peace with that, because as a man, taking somebody else's life that was trying to take yours is way more important than their life in general. Because if they're the type of person who wants to take yours, they put that on themselves. Now, solid lessons. We in there. I hope I still got your attention now. Come on, keep watching to the end. I'm gonna keep on dropping gems. Now, the thing is also, you want to make sure you're rocking with a Christian woman. When it comes to a relationship, you need to have you a Christian woman, right? If you're a solid Christian man, you need to have a solid Christian woman behind you, meaning they're less likely to cheat because they have God outside of, like, outside of regular parameters. They have something, they have a reason outside of you not to cheat, meaning that they're accountable to them and God, which means they're more likely not to cheat on you, more likely not to do all these crazy things or whatever it is if they really rocking with God. That's why you have to make sure someone's really rocking with God. Because what does God say? He says, if you love me, keep my commandments. John chapter 14, verse 15, if you love me, keep my commandments. James chapter 1, verse 22, but be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. Meaning that you need to be stepping out on the word. And if you see, and he also says, I believe in Matthew, you shall know them by their fruits. Meaning that you will know if you're rocking with a real Christian by the way they're acting, the way that they're living, the way that they're stepping, right? And that's exactly how you will know. Next, when it comes to getting money, right? So this is the kind of breakdown. I've been in this game for a minute, trying to get rich, trying to make money, do all these different things. This is the breakdown. First off, you need to get your skills right. That nigga wasn't lying when he said skills pay the bills. The most profitable thing in my career as a business person has been building my skills. Spending years trying to chase the money without having skills is what was my downfall. Without the understanding and the skills, that's why I wasn't making as much money, because I was just trying to figure things out without having the skills. So learn how to market, learn how to sell, learn how to build websites, learn how to build product, learn how to make a good offer, learn how to fulfill on that offer, learn how to structure things, learn how to build SOPs, like standard operating procedures in Google Docs, so that you can have people work for you and do things the way you want them to, instead of having to talk to them every time to show them actually how to do it. The main way to get rich is through business. So start you up a business, make an LLC. You don't need to start off with an LLC. You can get one after you make maybe like $600 in profit, whatever. Then from there, you just keep going. The rule with business is never stop. It took me, I think like 4.5 years, almost 5 years to finally make it in business. And you need to start now, right? It's probably going to happen faster for you, especially if you have a job where you can invest in yourself. I never had a W-2 before, never before. Always been just out there trying to get it on my own. I almost got a job, but then ended up things popping off a little bit for my business, and then just ended up not going with the job, ended up sticking with business, and then things just got better. Excuse me. Also, what else? When it comes to relationships, now I've read a few. Well, I've listened to. Man, if you listen to an audiobook, I feel like you should be able to say read, because it's such an inconvenience to say I listened to. Like, I read that book. Not really, but I listened to it. You know what I mean? But I listened to a few audiobooks about like masculine leadership, relationships, different things like that. And the best advice I can give you is polarity is important. I want you to go and read your own books. It's called The Masculine in Relationship. That's really a primary one that I want you to read. But in that, there's two different dynamics, right? It's just like magnets. Attraction needs to be opposites. If you're feminine and you're giving off feminine energy, the feminine will sense that and it will repel her. So the thing is, you need to be masculine in your leadership and the way you act. So there's a few things. It's respond versus react. Meaning that you don't let your emotions get the best of you. Don't react to your girl, respond to your girl. So if she's disrespectful, don't, hey, respectfully, I want to let you know that you crossed the boundary, and I want to let you know that I'm not going to accept you doing that anymore. We need to be respectful when it comes to communicating with each other, whatever it is. That's more masculine than going off and be like, you know what I'm saying? Also, when it comes to masculinity and in a relationship, you need to be able to provide too. But the things that women are attracted to really is, I really didn't think this at the beginning, but is emotion, like being there for her emotionally. Like, a dude can have everything, but if he's not there for his woman emotionally, and someone else is, she's more likely to cheat on him. Why? Because they're heavily driven by emotions. Women are very deeply emotional creatures, which means they feel our type of emotions, but like 10x, meaning that she may be feeling very emotional. You may not be dealing with it the right way, meaning that you need to be able to hear her, even if her emotions that, like, I didn't notice, because I'm such a logical person that in my relationship, I used to tell my wife, like, that's not valid. Yeah, I don't respect your emotions. That right there is not valid, and that really put a huge wedge between us because the thing is, she felt like I wasn't there for her emotions, and the thing is, you need to be there for her emotions, even if they're not valid in terms of logically. You need to, because the way they feel when you say, "Hey, that doesn't make sense," or "You shouldn't be feeling that way," they feel like you're telling them not to feel a way, that they're not valid or whatever it is, and they feel like you're not there for them. So for your women, you need to you don't have to agree with her, but you have to validate that she's feeling those emotions. Like, I understand why you may be feeling that. But just for a deeper breakdown of that, just like I really 100% recommend is reading the book called Masculine in Relationship. Um, I didn't get to show you guys that thorough breath thing, but you guys can look it up on Amazon. It's called Thorough Breath. That's for the earlier part. But it's called Masculine in Relationship. The Masculine in Relationship by G.S. Youngblood. That's it right there. That's another one right here. It's pretty decent, but like some of these books about like masculine and relationships, some of the stuff be just too red pill. Like they be talking about hookups and all that. Like I'm not trying to hear about that. I'm married. I'm just trying to learn about the dynamics and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? That's unimportant. But the thing is, you want to be masculine. You want to respond versus react. Sometimes you'll need to set barriers and boundaries. You need to set clear boundaries. You need to let your woman know what you're expecting of her. And the thing is, I like to tell people, even on my team, I tell people, hey, I'm not going to arrest you, or I'm not going to give you a speeding ticket if I didn't clearly post up the speeding limit where you were driving. So if I didn't tell you, hey, this is not cool, or this doesn't go, how am I going to judge you for it? Unless it's something very clear that you absolutely know, like, hey, you actually absolutely should have known. Like something like cheating. There's nobody who gets in a relationship was like, I wasn't supposed to cheat. What? No, that doesn't happen. But just setting clear boundaries when there need to be set. Different things like that on the outset, especially in a relationship. Now, the thing is, a lot of people waste time in relationships because they don't filter people out enough. They don't have enough standards. And standards usually come from experience, but some people end up in the same type of relationship over and over again because they don't learn, right? You're as intelligent as the speed of which you can basically learn from your own mistakes. So you can take feedback, make a change, get the reaction or the growth. You can only grow as fast as you can change based off of the feedback you get from whatever happened before. So if you get in a relationship, you see that this woman was toxic. She didn't seem like that in the beginning, but you've seen a few red flags. Now you know that, hey, you get in a relationship, well, you get in that talking stage, you see those flags, hey, sorry, I got to step back. This is not the type of relationship I want. Now you're off to finding somebody who's more of a fit. That's the kind of situation. That's how you want to handle it as a man. Also, yeah, when it comes to Christianity, you need to be into apologetics, meaning that it's actually a command in the Bible to be an apologist, to be able to understand God. So this is a book called "Is God a Moral Monster?" It's making sense of the Old Testament God, basically breaking down like the reasoning and the context so you can understand God more, instead of like people asking you questions about God and you having no answers because you don't understand and you'll be stumped. You will have an answer if you read stuff like that. So read, become a book, or I suggest audiobooks because they're easier. You can play games or whatever it is, or go about your life while listening to an audiobook. But become a bookworm. You need to be wise as a man. If you can lead, if you have wisdom, more wisdom, you can guide your woman more. And like doing things like being able to change a tire, right? You should look up how do you change a tire. And also a lot of the times the most marriages will break up because of financial issues. So you want to make sure you have your finances down. You need to learn how money works, learn how to get it, learn how to keep it, because it's not about what you make, it's about what you keep. You want to make sure you're in a financially good and stable position where you can consistently provide. You will always be having, because I remember my relationship was kind of going a little bit downhill because my finances wasn't there. I was struggling for a long time before I made it. And it got hard, but she stuck with me. But the thing is, like, no woman wants to be with a man who can't take her out on dates or get this for her or that for her. It's just like you're basically just broke. You can't provide in any way. So it's like, and you can't judge a woman for that, because that's how God made women. They need to be provided for. right? I don't really think women should have to work. I don't want my wife working. You shouldn't want your wife working. She should be able to be home, take care of the kids. You know what I'm saying? But in that situation, like, women are naturally designed, God designed them to be provided for, meaning that in a man, they're going to want to be provided for. You know, relationships usually decline if the woman is making more than the man. So you always want to be working, putting in that extra time. You should make it to where your wife shouldn't have to work, right? My wife doesn't have to work if she doesn't want to, right? If she doesn't want to, she doesn't have to work. I can literally just take care of her. But the thing is, also, you want to understand that as a man, there's just certain things you do and certain things you don't do. If you're ever around your friend and his girl, or something like that, you always hype your friend up. In your relationship, you don't want to be alone with other genders or whatever it is. You want to avoid those type of situations. Um, when it comes to waiting till marriage, you want to avoid temptation. You want to be able to pray. If you're ever suffering from any type of temptation, always ask God for help instead of trying to fight it on your own. The Bible says to flee from youthful lust, meaning to run from it. Don't reason with it. Don't talk to it. Don't conversate. Just run. Like Pastor Stephen Darby said, if you want to get some more wisdom, look up Pastor Stephen Darby on YouTube. You'll end up watching 15 hours of his content. I guarantee it. But really, what else do I want to break down for you? Never let yourself get fat. Never, ever, ever, ever let yourself get fat. If you're fat right now, it's a result of your irrespect for yourself and your craving for the path of least resistance. The path of least resistance for you is, hey, eat, don't work out. The path of most resistance is eat healthy, work out. Right? So always keep yourself in shape, right? You don't have to be a freaking huge bodybuilder, but keep yourself in shape. Like, if you don't have any muscle mass and you're just all bones, skin and bones, it's like, okay. Like, how is a woman supposed to believe you can protect her? You know what I mean? Like, if you don't got no muscles at all, like, you just skin and bones, right? You might have a gun, but what if it's a situation where it's like you need to fight? You need to protect her. What if the gun drops and you don't have that anymore? You need to fight. Learn how to fight. Learn that you need to twist your arms when you jabbing. You know what I'm saying? You need to learn how to block. You know what I'm saying? You can catch, or you can figure out these things by just going to like a boxing gym or something like that. But I learned from videos, boy, because I'm like, there's certain things that as a man you should just have, but also you need to dress well. I'm gonna start getting more into that phase because I stay home most of the time. But I'm gonna start dressing crazy. I'm gonna start putting on the J's, going out there with the drip. You know what I'm saying? But usually I just be wearing something chill, nothing crazy. Jeans, Sperry's, nice shirt. That's what I usually do. But then I'm gonna start turning up because I got a little bit more money now. You know what I'm saying? But what I was about to say. What else? Lessons as a man. Also, that's a little deeper. I won't go too much into that, but you need to know how to get your woman right when it comes to that bed. If you wiped up, you need to make sure that you not the only one having a good time. I ain't gonna go too deep into that. Watch videos, figure out what you're doing so that you can do a great job. Because if you're not doing a great job, that's gonna mess up your marriage. Okay, do a great job. All I have to say. What else? What else? Because I was just going on a rant. It's 43. We 43 minutes in, baby. Is you this deep with us? Come on, now stop playing. Yeah, get your money right, live right. We went over hygiene. We went over finances. We went over kids. We went over wife. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much the main things. I want to know in the comments. Come on, I just spent 40 something minutes breaking this down for you guys. I hope you got some gems. Tell me what was your favorite gem, or if you like this video in general. Come on, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to be dropping gems here. I want this to be my channel where you really just see my personality. It's not going to be too stuck to any form of content, but it's going to be my personality, who I am, what I know, how I can help you, how I can be of value and service to your life. But yeah, like, subscribe. Is there anything? I couldn't think of anything else. God bless. I hope you got some value from this video. Bye bye.